What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Really do appreciate everybody that tuned into the last video. That was dope. That car was fun. It was really fun. The front kind of kicked my butt, but it is what it is. Well, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna be working on my 2014 WRX hatchback. I'm gonna be putting a Cobb AOS, air oil separator, on it. Here it is. I'm gonna be putting this on today. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll get right into it. Just pop the hood. One thing I'm going to be worried about when doing this AOS, it's going to go in this back left corner. So what I'm scared of is I'm going to have to remove the strut bar, which is pretty much from Subaru. So it's a Subaru performance tuning. I didn't really want to get rid of that just because it's like a factory add-on, which I thought was kind of cool and came with the car. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to remove it since it's got to go right there in that corner. And just like I thought, I'm gonna have to take that strut bar off. So let's go ahead and grab the tools for that. Let's take that off and get started. All right, we got the strut bar off. Went ahead and removed that. Kind of sucks, it's gotta be removed because I thought it looked pretty cool in here. Just as a factory add-on, I just thought that was cool. So kind of sucks, whatever. It is what it is. This is gonna help the car out a lot better. So knowing that I had a strut brace to not having one, it kind of looks weird. It just, to me, it just don't look right. Like, you're supposed to be in there. Like, you are supposed to be in there. All right, the next step to do is to remove the harness. With this is a clip. So the clip right here itself, you should be able to pry it back, and what it'll do is release itself. It's gonna be probably a lot easier. Just put a flathead in here, push it, boom, and it should slide back. Go and get that harness out the way, because once we take the harness out, we gotta remove this bracket. This bracket underneath has 2 10 mils, I believe, that you have to take out. Once you remove this back, push that clip back, the harness at the back should just come on and slide right out. Let's see, it should just come out, because that's the only thing should be holding it in. Boom, sweet, that came out pretty easy. Now, remove those 2 10 mils off this bracket, and then we'll be able to move this out the way completely, test fit the AOS and see how it looks. All right, once you remove that, there's 2 10 mils, you can move this harness completely away from where you need to be. Right there, that's where the AOS will mount. It's 2 10 mils, it'll go right there in that spot. Let's test fit it and see what it looks like. All right, I got the AOS in there mounted. It's not tight. I just pretty much just put it in there, just kind of get the feel for it. So now I can tighten that up. I just had to push these up just a wee bit, these brake lines. I just moved them up just a little bit, just kind of clear. I mean, it's got pretty good clearance in there, so that was very simple. I didn't have to pry them, nothing like that. Like if you see in everybody else's other videos, they're taking pry bars and stuff and brake. Nah, you don't have to do none of that. So now I can tighten up this 10 mils and run these hoses how we need to. Now, there is a clip down here. I believe that goes to like the PCV valve, that hose that goes down in here. Undo this clip, pull that out, and then we need to get that hose out. And this is where it's at. It's right here on top of the trans. Push the clip, pull this out. It should just come right out. Boom. Unplug it, and then move this out the way. And then when there is a clamp down here at the very bottom, when you get that out, pull this up, and in the kit there'll be a new hose with a Y fitting. All right, this is what it looks like once you remove it off the top side of the block. There is a little hose clamp. You have to use maybe like a flathead. I just used a flathead, put it in between it, twisted it, and it snapped it. It's pretty much exactly like this one right here. And all it does is you just stick a flathead through it, give it a twist, and it just snaps off. All right, this is what you'll be looking for in the kit. This comes with the Cobb setup. It's this tube right here with our hose, and then you'll have this Y fitting, and this will sit straight up on top of the block where the last one was we just removed. Now that you got this out, there is a little jumper in here you got to pull out with needle nose, and you need to put this back into the harness. Now that you got that jumper, put it back into the top, and once you plug it back into the top, push it in there, grab some electrical tape, put a piece over the top, over the side, and then wrap it around, just kind of keep it away from the elements. There. And then you can just take this, you can zip tie it here, make it nice and neat. You can push it back up under the intake manifold, whatever you want to do, just kind of keep it out of the way. Now that we got the PCV situation taken care of, now I'm gonna route the coolant line on the bottom of the AOS. That's gotta come up and go right here on top of this fitting right here. So we need to take this hose clamp off and this one right here. Once we get those off, we can put the clamp here and put it on top, and then we'll start routing the other ones. Now that I removed this hose clamp off the top, there's one more right here. So just grab your needle nose, twist it, bring it on up, and then mine's never been removed. So you might have to grab some pliers, twist back and forth until this comes up. But after you do that, we'll route this one off the bottom of the AOS separator, and then goes right here up top. Now that we got this one on here, that hose came from the bottom of the AOS and went right here into this little reservoir. The top one is gonna go, I'm gonna route it kind of the same way and see if I can get it going in the intercooler pipe in that coupler and go right here without it having to come over and it look just janky. All right, this is how I'm gonna have to route it, only because if I would route it underneath the intercooler piping right here, under this coupler, it's gonna put it too much as a kink. So what I might do is kind of run it how we have it up here and run it just like this right over the top one. So now that we have both of these on, there is another hose down in here that I have to take off. Where that fitting is right here, it's another blow-by sensor, and that goes to down here on the top side of this valve cover. So I gotta take that hose clamp off. It'll lead to this sensor right here, and then we'll do the same thing we did on the PCV valve. We'll put the jumper in that, put electrical tape, and kind of tuck it back out of the way. All right, before I get too far into doing all the hoses and stuff, there's a 10 mil right here that I'm gonna have to take out so we can actually put the harness back in like a factory location. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that 10 mil out real quick. We'll take this out, and then on the back side of the harness, that clip right here, Cobb gave us a pretty much like a little adapter. Pretty much it'll go in here like this clip, and then you would put it right here where that 10 mil is in its factory location. Keep it kind of loose. You want to keep it loose to where you can rotate it, so you can get the harness and slide it in how you need to. Right there on the bottom is where it went. So you should be able to just slide it back on like if it was the stock one. Or not. It's a little crooked. And now, boom, it's there. Alright, now that I got the harness situated in that back in its factory location, I need to go ahead and get this breather tube off right here on the side of the valve cover. Alright, I finally got this hose off. It is kind of a pain just to get down in there. I don't know if it's because of the intercooler piping right here or what, but it was kind of a butthole to get that off. Now that bypass solenoid, I gotta get that off, that little clip off of that, and then that pipe right there has got to come out, and there's the same thing, little hose clamp you got to pull off, and then it'll allow it to come out. Just to make it easier, I'm gonna go ahead and take the intercooler piping off, so to give me a lot more room to play with, so I can get to everything like that solenoid and everything right there, and that hose, so I don't scratch this piping. All right, just like we did over here with the PVC, you take this out, take the little pin out, and then you'll reinstall it back in here at the top. And like I said before, go ahead and put electrical tape around it just to secure it a little bit better, and then you can tie it off. Like say you put a zip tie right here just to keep it nice and clean. And for me, I won't see it, just for the simple fact is I'll have my intercooler piping come right here, and it just goes from here to there. So just pull it out right here, just use some needle nose, it should just come right out. Boom, turn it around, and then like in here, put it in the top slot. So it kind of like bypasses the system. And then like I said, just get some electrical tape and close it up. All right, now we gotta get that hose clamp off. That'll run over here to where this was just sitting, that little bypass or whatever these things are called. And then that's what connected to the little sensor and ran down to where the top side of that valve cover was. So we gotta take the hose clamp out, pull that little hose off, and then go from there. All right, there's two of these hoses that have the heat wrap on them. Grab the smaller one, put the big one to the side, and this is gonna go to the bottom side of the AOS. It's gonna go from there. I'm gonna route mine around where the AC line is, and then it's gonna go to the smaller part of the PCV valve that we put down here with the Y. All right, this is how I'm gonna route it I went ahead and put it in here on the bottom. I'm gonna secure it with a zip tie. I ran it this way. I might change it up just for the simple fact is just kind of make it look a little bit better, but this is how I was gonna route it. Just kind of keep it away from the downpipe, even though it does have the heat wrap. And like I said, if you need to trim it, you can trim it. I'm just gonna leave it like this until I figure out exactly how I'm gonna have it. And then if you need to, like this is where you wanna put it, put a zip tie right here to secure it there, and you should be all set with that one. All right, on this second hose, this hose right here is gonna go to the very bottom right here on this third slot on the bottom side of this one, and it's gonna go to the top side of that PVC. In order to do that, they supplied with a 90. So cut maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches off of this, allowing this to come up off the PCV and have this facing this way, so it'll route back, and we'll kind of have it going the same way, and then going straight to the bottom. And then make sure you secure them with zip ties. All right, now I'm gonna stick this on here, bottom side of the AOS, and to be honest, it might route pretty good if I just put this thing here like this. Boom. I can attach it right there. Go ahead and put a zip tie here, and a zip tie there, just to make sure it's snug. All right, next up, we're gonna be putting the hose on the side of the valve cover over here. I'm gonna route it underneath all this stuff right here, just try to keep it out of the way. And it's gonna go to the top part of the AOS. So now let's get in that one. All right, I went ahead and put the hose here on the passenger side from that valve cover. I've already routed it up underneath all the other hoses. This one's a little longer than it should be. I guess they give you a little bit more just in case you have like a bigger turbo kit or something like that, so you can reroute how you want to. I'm gonna have it sitting like this, so I'm gonna trim like right here, and it's gotta go to the top part, and then grab the zip tie and just secure it up there at the top. All right, I have that hose routed. I ran it up underneath all the other hoses, and it's going into the top slot of the AOS. Now I just need to grab me a zip tie and zip tie it, and then cut the excess off. All right, earlier we took that little hose off of right here. So in the kit, they supplied us with this one. This one, you just need to grab this and put it on that slot, and then put a zip tie. All right, next up, we're gonna take this out, stick a flathead in this little fitting, and we're gonna break that loose like we did all the other ones. And then in the kit, they supplied us with a 90. This is the smaller 90. And then we'll attach the hose to that and go to the top of the AOS. All right, now that I got the little piece off and the clamp, now we can put the smaller 90 will go inside of here just like this, and then we'll put a zip tie on that one, keeping that there, and then the smaller hose is going to go from here to the top right. All right, now we're going to do the same thing like we did on the passenger side. There is this hose right here that goes up top, and then one of those bypasses as well, and then it goes down to the hose we need to take off on the driver's side valve cover. So once we get that off, get this out, get this unplugged, we'll take the prong out of that one as well, and then plug it back into the sensor, and then electrical tape it as well. All right, we got the hose off the driver's side valve cover, moved the hose off the top up here. We plugged this, went ahead and put the prong in there, put electrical tape around that, so now we can zip tie that out of the way. In the kit, it comes with this little cap. We got to put it in right here, and then we'll zip tie it and keep that out of the way. All right, I went ahead and put the hose to the middle of this AOS. Now I can route it. I guess we can route it right here and just attach it to like the AC line or something like that. And then it's gonna go to the driver's side valve cover. All right, got it routed like this. It's not fully attached and like that. It's not secured down by anything. Just trying to measure it out and see how it's gonna be. And it's got a lot left. So I'm gonna trim it. I'm probably gonna trim it like right here. Go ahead and put it on the valve cover and then see how it sits. All right, we got 2 more hoses left. One of the last ones is the one with the AN fitting. It's a plastic fitting. It's an 11/16. It's gonna go right up top to the AOS. And then it's gonna run to, on the bottom, right here underneath the intake manifold. So I went ahead and put a zip tie on here. So all I have to do is put it on here and then pull the zip tie tight. All right, the last hose is gonna go from up here in the middle, from the top of the AOS to this one right here. This was probably the hardest one to put on besides the cap on that side. Just be ready for it. So when you go and grab the hose for this, it goes right here, and then put a zip tie on each end and we're good to go. Alright everybody, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. I just finished up on the air oil separator on the WRX. It was fun. There's a lot of little stuff you have to pay attention to, as far as like the cap on this side was really hard to get on, this little hose right here. But other than that, everything, it was flowing good. If you have any questions, you definitely can put a comment down below. I'm definitely here to help out. If you find an easier way of doing something other than the way I did it, definitely comment. Let me know how you did it. I'm super stoked on everybody's comments. If you guys want to see that last video of me doing that Porsche, putting the coilovers on it, I'll put the link down below. Again guys, I really do appreciate everything. If you would like and subscribe, I'll catch you guys on the next one.